Trauma I have faced in my childhood and I overcame. Stay tuned to find out. Hey y'all, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Below my mic into low vision, songwriting, hit stress, and auto repair, and too many more things to list. I prove being blind is not disability, it's the obstacle in life I overcame. I have faced bullying, physical and verbal, through school. I have faced abuse at home. I have faced so much trauma I went through my childhood. In my adulthood, till I worked with the trauma I went through, y'all, I used to suffer from a thing called night terrors. Night terrors. And there's some things I went through I will not say on here because they're kids, and I don't want kids to hear certain things. My thing is family oriented mainly. But I will say, in some of my trauma that I went through as a kid, I finally got past that. I don't really have night terrors anymore. Once in a great moon, like once a year, I'll have one or twice a year. And it's very embarrassing what I do. I remember I went on a trip with my friends and stuff, but some of them suffer from night terrors too because we grew up in not a good area. You all, it wasn't a good area at all. Well, I went on this trip with my friends and stuff. We went for New Year's to have a good time. I don't drink. A lot of my friends don't either, but went to this hotel, and I didn't have to pay for it. That's how good friends these were. They knew I didn't have no money. This was after I graduated from high school and everything. Well, we're all in a hotel, and then I'm getting tapped on my shoulder from my friend Adam and stuff, and he's saying, Joe, it's okay. I'm like, what? And he's like, you're yelling, no, stop, no. And he's like, you repeating, no, stop, and help. And I'm like, oh my God, I did it again. And he said, it sounded like you're being murdered. You were screaming on top of your lungs. And I'm like, ugh. What it was a dream of what I went through in my past, which I'm not going to mention. And stuff like that. But that's one of the traumas that I have had to overcome in life. One of those things. And other traumas I had to face was watch my mother being beaten up by her boyfriends and drug addict boyfriends going on rages and drunk boyfriends on rages and stuff like that. My father who adopted me, Christopher, and my mother who adopted me, they split right after they adopted me. My father who adopted me was abusive too. He used to hit me with my shoes. He'd take my sandals or shoes off. He even did it in the car with my one friend in it. One time he offered to take a friend of mine out to dinner and my mom. Well, when he did, my mom says, just friends, I know that. And he didn't get his way or something, so he took my sandal off of me and started to hit me in the head and face with my shoe until my mom tried to pull him off of me, but it didn't work out that well. And then my father used to pin me down, used to do all that. Put my fish tank outside one day right when I was in elementary school and told me that the fish can fry and die. Yeah, that's what I went through with my father who adopted me. Calling me names, putting me down all the time, putting my mother down, putting anything that I do down. You're blind. What can you do? You know what? Your mother's letting you ride a bicycle. I can go to my lawyer. That's putting your life at risk. I'm going to take you away from her. She ain't ever going to see you again. That's the stuff I was going through. I'm going to call my lawyer. Matter of fact, I'm calling my lawyer right now. And that's what I went through with my father. That kind of abuse. Threatening lawyers, putting his hands on me and stuff like that. And then my mother suffers some mental diseases, so I can't blame her. But yes, my mother has some illnesses too, but it isn't her fault. She adopted me, my father adopted me because they lost their son at birth. The hospital made a mistake. So then the hospital gave them a settlement without them even asking for it, and my mom and dad bought a house with it. You want to hear how unfair my dad who adopted me is? He kept the house and wouldn't let my mother have any part of it. When she gave birth to that child, it should have been split. Nope, he sold it, and he blew through the money. It didn't matter to him that it was his son who's passed away's money. It didn't matter like that at all. It should have been split between both 50-50. Well, long story short, if it was, my mom's boyfriends would have taken it anyway, so it is what it is. So, abuse I faced in school now we're going to talk about. Oh my God. I never thought I would live to be an adult. That's how bad it was. I was petrified to go to school, y'all. Petrified it became. I moved around a lot because my mother's boyfriends were drug addicts and drunk, so they stole her money. Then she used to babysit for money and stuff like that, and they stole her money all the time, so we used to have to move from apartment to 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 apartment. We moved so many times I couldn't even count, but unfortunately, the school district that I went to was such a big school district. All the towns around there went to that school district, like 20 or 15, 20 towns went to that school district, and I really wish they didn't. I wish I stayed in Avery Park, but when my mom and I moved to Schodack was the school district that I was having all the abuse in. It wasn't Skodak schools, it's a town that Skodak sent their kids to that got the abuse. I had no abuse from the school district from 2nd grade through 5th grade. No abuse at all. It seems such an amazing school. I know I was bounced around different schools. Like I went to Green Meadow was my first school in that school district. That was amazing. Then I went to Janae. That was amazing. But then I hit Golf. Oh boy, the middle school. Yes. That's where all the abuse started. First it started verbal. And then it started physical. I can't remember if it was getting punched in the neck or punched in the chest the first time it was physical, but it got physical, and it got physical fast. I was walking in gym one day from the locker room, and I got punched in the chest so hard, I'm like trying to breathe, and nothing's coming. Like I could feel the air going in, but it's like burning. Every time I took a breath, it's like sharp pains, like very painful. I went to go talk to the gym teacher, and I couldn't even talk well. It was like I was whispering, like my voice was off. And I do have injuries in my chest somewhere around here from that, like damages to stuff, but it is what it is. I deal with it. That's how hard I got hit. It caused physical injuries. And the teacher said, walk it off. The gym teacher said, walk it off in 6th grade. No, I'll pass you on gym today. I'll write that you did it and participated. I said, but what's going to happen? Yeah, just walk it off. Just forget about it. If you go and do something and get one of these people in trouble, your life is going to go a lot harder and going to be a lot worse on you than you will realize. Because we grew up in a rough area. I grew up in a rough area, you all. So, like, it wasn't good all the time. And stuff went on in that town. And people kept the close eye to it. And certain people had connections that. And I didn't know the certain kids that did that. They had a certain member that had a family member that was in the police force of that area. I'm like, I didn't know that till I actually graduated school and found out after. But we're getting into that after. But long story short, then the second time at gym, I got punched in the neck where it burned. Like, that hurt. Then the third time I'm standing, say this is me right here. Say this is me. I'm standing, talking to a few friends. I get slammed into the bleachers. Like, slammed hard. And then just the person did it, walked right away. And I went to a nurse's office. I didn't have money for a phone. My mom had a track phone where she paid for the minutes. We didn't have money for a phone or anything. So I said to nurse, can I please borrow your phone to call my mother? No, Joe, just go back to class. And I'm like, but, oh, it's fine. You'll get through it. It's fine. These things happen. It happens all the time. I'm like, this happens all the time. Kids get abused and hit. And she was like, just go back to gym. It isn't a reason to go home. Don't use it as a reason to go home. I said, can I at least call her? No. I said, can you call my mom and let her know? No. They never even called my mother or anything. I went home. I had to go the whole day. I had a couple broken bones, y'all. And then I got like a cast halfway up my arm, my hand covered in stuff. Because I put my hand out to catch me, but I didn't know that would make it worse from the force that I was pushed. So then, long story short, after that, things calmed down for a few days because, like, I avoided, like, going anywhere in the school by myself. I was staying, following a teacher or a staff member or something because I knew that would keep me safer. And then the abuse on the bus started. I moved. And I moved to an area I didn't know some of these kids lived. And oh boy, did it get worse. Yes, it did. You might say that was abuse. Well, that was nothing to what I'm about ready to tell you. Well, it started out on the bus. The bus driver was the one kid's uncle, and I didn't know that, so a lot of abuse went on that bus. A lot, too much to list. First thing that happened wasn't that bad. Just getting punched, just getting hit. That was okay. Because I was used to that from happening in school. I was used to my mom's boyfriends hitting me and putting their hands on me, so I was used to that. That wasn't as bad as other things that started to come. Then I had water bottles. I don't know what was in it getting poured on me. Then the pen. You know the pen. I'm trying to find it. Hang on. I'm trying to find one. I don't even think I have one because I'm blind. Well, I looked this about not as depressed and things. I look at this as this has built me to who I am today and gave me the strength and the flame that keeps me moving each day. All this abuse that I went through, when I'm feeling down and I feel like I can't make it through something, I look at all the abuse that I went through and said I overcame all that, and I overcame losing all my eyesight, and I overcame being homeless and everything in my life. You know what? Nothing in this life can be thrown at me that I cannot overcome. I can overcome anything life throws at me, because look how many things I made it through already. Well, they took the pen that you can see the ink cartridges on the inside. Well, they took the pen out and just had the ink cartridge with the point. They put gum that was used, ABC, and I was on the bus. I got held against right where I was, and they ended up shoving it in my ear. Yes, that's how cruel these kids were. And then, that wasn't the only thing. That wasn't as bad as the other thing. Then I used to get held down. Right? They used a seatbelt to kind of strap me to the seat, and the bus driver did nothing. This school did nothing, y'all. Nothing to stop the abuse.
10:52 a.m.
Nothing at all.
Google account updated.
And I tried.
Unlock. Lock screen. Screen off.
Sorry about that.
10:52 a.m.
And I tried so hard to stop that abuse. I even went to the guidance office. I went everywhere, and they said they don't know how to deal with the issue going on. I was about in school, outside of school, on the bus, and now I'm being targeted at home. There was one day I was in school. I'm walking to the class and stuff like that. I was in the Blue House and stuff like that. Well, they ended up moving the kids with special needs out of the Blue House, because we all used to be in the Blue House, but it was getting too violent and stuff, so they moved us kids out of the Blue House because of things that were going on, I guess. Well, I'm walking there, and someone says, when you get home, check your window. It's a good thing it was locked. I'm like, what? I'm like, just passing? Yeah, just never harassment. Yeah. I'm saying in my head, just ignoring. I walked and ignored.
Sky News. Sky correspondent.
Because I
Record
knew
time. 11.
not to,
Button.
like,
Window
say
navigation
things
bar.
back. It would
Double tap
escalate
to
and
activate.
even
Double
make
tap.
it worse.
Home.
And unfortunately,
Double tap to activate.
as
Double tap and hold to long press.
middle school, picture my age, and I had to learn, and it's something I learned that was not good. It's okay to show your emotion. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show that you're hurting, you all. If you have to, that's okay. But I learned the wrong way. I had to hide it. I couldn't show people me crying. I couldn't show me being hurt or sad, because the abuse I went through, people point that out. My mother's boyfriends would down me. They call me the F word. They call me all these names. They call me everything they could. And then at school, I'd be called names, and my mother's boyfriends would threaten, I'll tell these kids this. I'll tell these kids this. I'll tell them. I'm like, it was hard, you all. Very hard. I had hideout spots in the woods that was my quiet spots. I built little forts that some of my friends and I built some together, but when I didn't have friends, because I moved around so much, I had my own little hangout spots in the woods to get away from the stress, and my own little thing that I built. It had a shelter over, and it kept me dry from the rain and stuff, so I could get away from the arguing at the house. I could get away from the abuse from school. I couldn't even walk the streets all this town, because that's how abusive these kids were. They travel the streets on their bikes and stuff, just looking to start with people and stuff. So it was bad. It wasn't good. But then I got home. Long story short, and I go check my window, and like, the screen's cut. The screen was cut open. And it was a good thing I locked the window, I guess. My mom had a sign saying child in room, so they knew what room was mine from that sign. And someone tried to cut the window where I was staying. And it didn't get better there. Not at all. Things got worse. I was in school one day. I'm going down the hall and everything. All of a sudden I get slammed to the ground as usual. I'm used to that by now. My shoe gets taken off me and thrown. My glasses get yanked off me and thrown. And my cane, I get told, go find it. I'm like, ugh. So then I just say, I deal with it. So, because without my glasses, I couldn't see a thing. The glasses at least made it so it looked very blurry vision. Like tunnel. It's like I was feeling around for my cane as people were saying things and saying very improper and mean things. Some things I can't even say. So then I met this nice kid, Seth. Real nice. And then I met Abby. She was amazing, a very good friend. She taught me pressure points so I could defend myself when people are on me. And Seth started teaching me how to defend myself. And I had a couple other friends that taught me that. I don't believe in fighting, you all. But sometimes I had to keep myself safe. I might not have been the best, but I had to. to keep myself safe. Like the time I was in the locker room getting changed, I took my clothes off like I was supposed to, start to change, and the kids ripped everything away from me and started with me and stuff like that, and it wasn't good. So I had to defend myself again. That time I actually defended, and I heard, holy effort, the blind blank can actually do something. I'm like, wow. So then it was getting worse, the abuse, very bad. I was even threatened at knife point, you all, in school, at knife point more than once. Having a knife held against you and stuff like that, threatened. And then having a knife put into your hand, being told it will look like you did something to yourself when we catch you on the street one day. That's the abuse I was facing. And it didn't get better there, you all. It didn't. It has gotten worse at the school. I stopped going because I was petrified for my safety. So then, the school ended up bringing me in, and my mother threatened to put me on pins. And I said, listen, can I please say I can't go through this abuse no more? I said, my home life is chaotic. My school life is chaotic. Can you guys please transfer me to this school, do anything you can to get me out of this? And they said, I'm sorry, Joseph, it's nothing we can do. We'll talk to the kids. And I said, no, don't do that. That will make it worse. Well, they didn't listen. They went and talked to them, and oh my gosh, it got worse. Very bad. Right here on my
Record time,
wrist,
16 minutes,
not
23
sure
seconds.
if you can see, somewhere on my wrist, it
16:26.
should be a scar.
Record time, 16 minutes, 26 seconds. Home. Button. Window
I
navigation
got
bar.
cut right
Double tap
across
to activate.
the
Double tap and
inside
hold
of
to long
my
press.
wrist, right where it was
Home.
bleeding.
Button. Double tap to activate.
And
Double tap and hold to long press.
there's a certain part of my wrist I cannot touch because it's nerve damage. It's still sensitive today. And if I sweat, it still burns a little because I never got the proper medical treatment for it. I didn't know it cut that deep. But certain kids cut me right there, and they thought it was funny, but I guess it is what it is. But all this abuse that I went through as a child, I guess God wanted me to go through it so I could see what others go through. And I can see, hey, if I can make it through this stuff, I can make it through anything. And this abuse that I have faced through my childhood made me the man I am today. One who sees to be kind to all. One who will not treat someone wrong. One who will defend. I know I can't fight, but if I see a child or woman being abused or someone disabled, I will step in and do the best I can to save them. I might get hurt in the process, but I will not let anyone get hurt in this life. I have a heart of gold, and from the things I went through, I wouldn't want anyone to go through anything. And some things I went through were real bad. Like, real bad, you all. We're still getting there. So then, Bob, my mom's boyfriend, would steal the car all the time from her. Disable the car from running. That's one of her boyfriends. So, there was one time my mom went to go get out of this abusive situation with Bob. She went to go start the car, and it was going bang, 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 bang. And she finally got to start where it wasn't even running. It was spitting and sputtering. It was backfiring. It was banging and everything. Well, she forced it to go down the road. Well, we didn't know what Heon did would destroy the car. We made about a mile or two down the road, and this is when we lived in a wooded area. The car didn't make it that far away. He got on a bicycle and was able to catch up to us, right? We were broken down. And then he was calling my mom all kinds of names, put his hands on her, was hitting her, and said, you stupid blank, the B word, you blew up the blanking car, you stupid blank, and calling her names and everything like that. Well, we ended up got the car to run to go back home. But we ended up getting rid of that car, but it was only a $100 car. What do you expect, Jess? So then we got another $100 car. And then he blew that one up in a police chase. 4-county police chase he got and blew that car up, but he hit it. Somehow he managed to get away. I wish he got caught by the police. It would have made my life easier. But then Chris Eden, I'm not sure if I talked to him abusing my mom. I was in 2nd and 3rd grade and stuff, and Chris Eden was abusing my mom at home. So school life was good in elementary school. Yeah, it was amazing. But home life was chaotic. Seeing my mother being beaten up by her boyfriends and my father and stuff like that. Getting hit by my own shoe by my father. Getting pinned to the ground. Getting him hitting me. Marks all left over me from my father who adopted me. And then, one miracle happened in my childhood. A miracle. A miracle. This is like a blessing from God. Bob and my mom broke up. He went with an underage girl. She was 17, but we got that prevented from happening. We saved that girl. Bob's mother and family stopped that from happening and saved that girl from that relationship. So long story short, my mom met a guy named Kenny. Okay, he was real nice, but that didn't work out. I'm very excited to tell you about this. This is like the best man ever I have met. My mom's going through Walmart one day at the town near us, and this guy goes, "Hey man, may I ask you a question? Are you single and stuff?" I don't know exactly how it went, but he took her on a date, and then he actually take me on a date with them on the next date, and I was so happy. Like, I wasn't happy at first. And I'm going, just another man gonna abuse me, another man gonna abuse my mother. We're gonna have to run and like get away from when they're high or drunk. We're gonna have to flee and stay at neighbors' houses when they're out of control. Nope. Didn't have to do any of that. What we ended up doing, I couldn't believe it. My mom picked my stepfather up at a house. Yes, a house he lived in. A house. None of my mother's boyfriends ever had a place to live. They always lived off my mom. This man had his own place. And when we pulled up to pick him up, he hopped in the car. I smelled gas. And my mom's like, "I can't afford to fix this thing. It's a $100 car. It's all I could afford." And he's like, "Well, we'll fix it up for you. Even if we don't date, I'm not going to let you and your son ride in something unsafe." So then a little bit later, we're pulling over on the side of the road. Which my mom and I do that today because we don't have a good car currently. Like, we're selling our good car just to have cash. The Buick needs a fan, but we're selling it because we need the cash right now. So we're selling our family car for the cash that we need. Well, long story short, he's like, "Why are we pulling over?" My mom's like, "I got to get out and pour water in the radiator." "Water?" He goes, "You can't open that." "Well, it ain't nothing to boil it," she goes. And he's like, "What?" And he pops hood and he says, "This has a blown head gasket. The whole motor's covered in oil and everything." My mom's like, "Yeah, I got to keep adding oil and antifreeze." And he's like, "This ain't going to make it much farther." I'm like, "Well, that's how we bought the car. We bought it. The guy said it had a blown head gasket, but it would still get us from point A to point B if we go short." And my stepfather's like, "I'll take care of this. Don't worry about it." And he wasn't my stepfather back then. He's just a guy that I just met. Then we sat down, went to dinner and stuff like that. On the way back, we pulled into the house, and he took the keys right out of the ignition at his own house. Took the keys right off the car, took the plates off, handed the plates to my mom, and said, "You're not driving this no more. Here's my van. Transfer your plates to it. Here's the title. Even if we don't become a relationship, you and your boy need something safe to ride in, and you're going to take my van." It was only a couple years old, y'all, that minivan. And once in our life, we actually had someone who actually helped us. But then, he ended up staying at our apartment. He said, "Son, I'm not going to make you move into my house. That's wrong. You and your mother have a place. So we're going to find a place together that we all agree on moving. Not just your mother, not just you, not just me, my kids, and you and your mother. We're all going to agree on moving to a place together that we all like. Because we're a family and you're my son." And I'm thinking, yeah. And he's like, and I'm like, "Well, you're just going to be like one of the other men. You're going to abuse my mom. You just gave her a car or something probably to lead it on or something to make her think you're a good person." He's like, "What do you mean?" Then we sat and talked. And I said everything I went through. And he went and asked my mom, "Was that true?" And she said, "Yes." Well, he sat down and said, "Listen, what you've been through, I understand it's hard to trust people. It's hard to know who to trust and who not to. But I'm going to tell you, you're going to see you can trust me." And boy, was he right. Man, he was the best. He took me in like his own son. He didn't even adopt me. But that man never put his hands on me. Never put his hands on my mother. Never abused any of us. We never had to leave or flee from him. That man had my back. When he found out what was going through school, he went to that school and that principal officer, he was escorted out of that school, you all, by security. He was escorted out and told not to come back, but he did. He said if the school ain't going to do something, he's going to start doing something. And people ain't going to like what he's going to do. He's going to defend his stepson. And he said if he has to get the police involved, well, he will. Then, my life changed around for the better, y'all. The bullying went through school still. But my stepfather and I would talk. I said, and he's like, "I understand you don't want your mother to know, so we're talking. I'll call school when there are issues, and we'll take care of this together. My children keep an eye out and protect you and keep you safe." Well, it started slowing down a little. But still some bullying went through and stuff like that. But the physical is still going on a little and stuff like that. And there was something that happened in our town. I still say it wasn't suicide. It wasn't. That's all I can say, because I remember I was at a gas station. I called the police and they wouldn't do a damn thing about it. I was at this gas station on 9 and 20 in the town that the school was in. And I heard someone screaming and stuff, and someone saying it's like very mean stuff. And it was a group of like kids around my age, because I was still in school then. My stepfather sent my mom and I down to the gas station to go get ice cream and go get a couple things. Now my mom was inside a store. There was a vehicle. It had a gas pump with a vehicle in front of it and a vehicle behind it. The next day they found a burnt up car in the woods with someone in it. And I know I got a gut feeling that it's more to that than that. But it ain't the first time this town that I grew up in covers something up like that. It ain't the first time. It was a very bad town, but I still say it was more to that. There was a car found on Old Ridge Road, all burnt up. I still say it was more to it than that. But it is what it is. That's because what I seen happening on the streets. Like, one time in Hampton Manor area, I was walking with my stepfather's grandson. And we're walking through, and he's like, Joe. I'm like, there are too many of them. If there were less kids, I would have stepped in. I can't. I said, we need to back up, and we need to call the police. My stepfather made it so I had a phone, so I dialed the police and said there's a incident going on. Someone dripped out of their car in Hampton Manor, and I gave my name and stuff, and they went and checked it out. I don't know what happened there. That's another incident. That's why I'm saying that area that I grew up in was not good. Not good at all. One time, my uncle and I were walking. We had a car following us. And he asked him what the blank with their problem. I'm like, no, Uncle Bob, no. Because I knew what some of these kids are capable of, and it ain't good. One time, my stepfather's grandson and I were in the sand pits. The place I used to hang out with all the stress stuff. I want to show him my old fort and stuff that I didn't need no more. I didn't need a hideaway. Because finally, no abuse at the house. Finally, no abuse. When my mom met my stepdad, all the abuse is gone, so I didn't have to run away from home and go be in the woods for a quiet spot. I didn't have to do any of that. My stepfather never screamed, never put me down, never called me names, never called my mother names. The only thing he said, Joe, did I hear you say I can't? Get over here. Are you saying you can't do something? That's not true. You can overcome anything life throws at you, and you're my boy. Not just because you're my boy, because you are an amazing person, and all the things that you have overcome, you can overcome anything life throws at you. And then he used to sit down and have talks with me, saying that he ain't always going to be there in my life, which I know that now, but he sat there saying, son, there will be a time that I'm going to leave this earth and I can't be there for you, but you need to make sure you are understanding. There are going to be people who ain't going to believe you can do things being blind. There will be a time in your life where you're going to lose your eyesight. I hope you don't. Maybe technology will make it so you don't have to, or medical breakthroughs. But you got to face the facts in case it is. Don't let it hold you back. That's why I sent you to these blind camps. That's why I sent you to these camps that put you in blindfolds to show you what it's like losing your sight. So you know how it is. But remember, there are people who say you can't do something because you're visually impaired or you might be complete blind in the future. There are people that discriminate you and don't understand who you are or what you can do. You need to, instead of arguing with them, you need to prove you can do it. And sometimes life is going to throw things at you that you don't even know are going to be coming, and it's going to be hard. But you're my son, and you're going to hold on and make it through those things. And boy, was he right. In 2012, I graduated high school. I didn't want to. I remember when my stepfather, Joe, get up and go to school. I said, I don't know what. I'll drive you to school. Your mother will drive you to school each day. We'll make it a little bit better for you. If my kids don't go that day, because his school kids didn't even want to go to that school. It was that bad. Well, long story short, I was so happy when the van got a flat tire one night. Yay, I don't have to go to school. I'm like, the van got a flat tire. And he was like, why are you happy because it has a flat tire? It's because I don't have to go to school now. I was like, damn, it must be worse than I can even imagine. He goes, now I was so happy, like I got to stay home that day. But back when I was in middle school, I was going through so much abuse before my stepfather. So much, you all. Certain things happen I cannot say at all. I cannot say. Some are very personal things that happened that were physical that I cannot say because kids might be on here. But a lot of stuff went on. And for me going through middle school, I was petrified for the longest time using public restrooms or anything like that. I would refuse to use one unless it was a family room. I would refuse it unless I could lock that door and know I am safe inside of it to go to the bathroom. I would not use a bathroom because of certain things that went on. I couldn't face going to a public restroom until my stepfather got me out of that fear and stuff like that because of certain things that went on in my past. That I'm not going to mention in case kids are here. Well, I overcame all that, but I graduated high school. I didn't want to, but the saddest thing is the year I graduated high school, 2 or 3 weeks before I graduated, my stepfather got real ill because the hospital made a mistake with a blood transfusion. And they said he's going to die. I was at that hospital every day for that man. I was there. He made me go to school. I said, no, I want to be here. No, son, you're going to go to school. And unfortunately, he passed away, but he didn't pass away at the hospital. He passed away at home with hospice. And I was there to care for him till his last day. I was there to help him. Anything that man needed, I made sure. If he wanted a glass of water, he wanted something, he wanted a drink, I was there for that man till the end. I remember one time he was so ill, but he wanted to go out with his boys. It was John and I and Rob. We went out. And John drove. My mom went out somewhere, and my stepfather was supposed to get out of the bed. The hospice nurse left for a little while, so he took him off of himself off the machines and stuff that he's on, and we went out to have a good time. He said, listen, this is going to be our last time out, so let's have a good time. And we went to McDonald's because my stepfather couldn't work, so we were all living off the income that we had left. And rent was $1,850, and he wanted to make sure we had money to live. And he said, I wanted to give everything for his funeral, but he said, no, save that to get you and your mother a place, and for my kids to get a place. You guys are going to use all my money to get a place. You guys can't stay in this house. You can't afford it. Well, we sat down, had the best dinner ever. The best dinner ever at McDonald's and everything. Then we went to Walmart and stuff like that and bought a few things. And then 3 days later, I graduated high school. And I came home. My stepfather got himself off those machines, got himself off everything that he was on, and he was sitting on the front stairs in front of the house. They were concrete steps in front of the house, just sitting there. And I'm like, and then everybody's like, why is he crying? I'm like, well, we're going to find out. I'm like, maybe because he's passing away. And he's like, you graduated, show me that diploma, I want to see it. And he's like, I'm so sorry I couldn't make it there. And I'm like, wow. He loved me so much. He wanted to be at my graduation. I'm like, wow. Then a few weeks later, he passed away. In the home. So, the attic, yes, was my getaway. So nobody, because back then my stepfather said it was okay to cry, okay to show emotions. But from when I went through all the trauma, I didn't want to look weak, so I kind of hid it behind, acted like it didn't bug me, but by myself it did. So then, we moved to the projects. Oh boy, was that rough. I didn't know one of the kids that I had problems with from school lived in the projects. Oh man, the first couple weeks was real nice. It was a project, so you can picture what the projects was like, because my mom and I didn't have a lot of money. So this is the year I graduated school, y'all. So picture, I'm a kid. I graduated 2012, the same year my stepfather passed away. So I moved to these projects, these apartments, owned by a company called Solomon or something like that. Yeah, Solomon Apartments. Well, long story short, I'm out looking for the jack because my mom's car had a flat tire, the van. Someone flattened the tire. We didn't know they flattened it. We thought it just had a flat. Then I find the jack handle, and later on that day I go for a walk around the complex like I always do. And these kids started with me. And, hey, you, get over here. And I hear you blind, blank, beep, 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 beep. We told you when we get you home, we'll do something. And now you're behind these buildings. No, and like, whoop. So then I ran. Because I was one of the fastest kids in school. Because my vision was like looking at a 2 paper towel roll. Very blurry vision. I could see far ahead to make out if something was there or not to run. And so I wouldn't run into it. But, so I took off running. Then I went back to my apartment. And later on that day, I said, no, what, I'm going to just go out. I'm going to face my fear. They're gone by now. I'm going to walk out. Well, I didn't know that one kid, like family member, was a cop. So it was a stage setup. I go outside. I'm going back to kids. I hear, hey. And I'm like, oh, not again. No. I'm like, I can't even go outside of my own apartment where I live. You got to be kidding me. I didn't want to burn up my mom with the troubles that was going on because she just lost her husband, the best man she has ever with. So I just said, hey, Mom, I have a little issue with some kids. All right. So then I hear, hey, you. Then I take off. I hear the kids get them. And then I'm slammed into the ground, picked up, and then a car pulls up, and it's the patrol car. Then the officer gets out. That was the kid's family member. Cop gets picked up, slammed into patrol car. My head slammed into patrol car. Handcuffs put on me, thrown in the backseat of patrol car. Told I'm trespassing. That I'm being arrested for trespassing. I said, but I live here. No, you don't. I said, yes, I do. I said, look at my ID. No, we don't need to look at it. We know who you are. And then, thank God, people at the department seen what was going on and called the police, and other police came. And they said, what's going on here? We hear that you just slammed the guy for no reason, and neighbors are saying that they're trying to tell you that he lives and you ain't listening. Well, long story short, the other cop said, he lives here and here's his ID. Let's go to the apartment and let him show you then. And the cop go, oh, I made a mistake. I had to bust it. The cop busted my phone and never gave me the keys back to anything in my apartment or anything, so we changed the locks. And I called the police station to file a report. I got told if I call back again, I'd be arrested for harassment because this was a high cop in there and a couple other family members whose kids were in the police force, so I was stuck. I should have called the state or sheriffs to file a report. I should have done that instead of the town police to that area. I should have done it a different way, but I didn't know back then. Then a few days later, my mom said, can you bring the garbage out? So I carried the garbage out. I drove it in, and that was behind all the building. I started to walk back. I hear, hey, we got all of your doors. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, that must be maintenance. They must be giving us new doors or something. I'm thinking, wrong. wrong. Now all of a sudden, someone comes up and, yeah, and I, oh. So I start moving in a white car. Don't know what kind or anything like that because my vision wasn't that good to like make out the car. It's like a white car's pulling up. From what neighbors described that seen what was going on, a lady who gave me the description of the car, it was a Nissan. She couldn't get the thing. She could only get a K7 on the part of the plate. And I had to take off running. The door opened up. I took off running like a, you know what? I said, I don't care if I run into anything because I got to get away. I went inside. Didn't tell my mom about that day because she was still upset because her husband passed away. So I kept that hush-hush. Then my mom took my uncle in who had drug problems again, Uncle Bob. And Uncle Bob talked my mom into junking my stepfather's van when all it needed was a powered steering pump and a ball joint. And we didn't have the money to fix it. It needed one other part. So then I bought a parts van for the power steering pump. I got it for like $200. And I knew the van was no good. It barely even made it to the house, y'all. It needed a lot of work. Then my uncle, my drug addict uncle, talked my mom into junking the van. I said, no, Mom, listen, I'll give you this van. I'll do anything. Don't junk that, please. Oh, you just want to keep it because it was Tom's. He was a great man, but needed a ball joint and a power steering pump. It's no good. I said, no, Mom, that's a good van. Uncle Bob wants drug money. Don't do that, please. Well, long story short, she junked it. Uncle Bob got the converter money, and they split the scrap money together. So now I'm working on this minivan, trying to get it running, trying to get it to stay running, put engine sealer in it because I had some gasket issues. I didn't have money. I'm working on it, and all of a sudden my friend's father says, Joe, step back very slowly. I'm like, what? What did I do? Joe, don't ask no question. Walk back slowly. This is when we were still in the project. He said, walk to my voice. Don't even turn around. Walk to my voice. Stand underneath my balcony. And I hear, what the blank are you blanking? You blanking A words and everything, all this are joke. Get up these stairs right now and go to my apartment. And he's screaming and cursing. I didn't know it was a whole group of those kids because I don't know if they were in some kind of gang or something or what, but I know I was actually joined one once in school and I said no. I was actually joined a gang by certain kids. I said no. Oh, well, we'll give you protection from those other kids and stuff. And we protect your family and we do all this. I'm like, no, that's wrong. I will not do that. Well, I don't know if that was another group or something that I was having trouble with that was targeting me. Maybe because certain things I seen them do and certain stuff that I heard them do and stuff like that. Maybe that's why they kept targeting me. But long story short, he's screaming at these kids on top of his lung, telling them if he ever catches them around here again, he's going to do something and it ain't going to be pretty. I didn't know he had a rifle. He took his hunting rifle out because that's how many people they were. There was like 10 to 15 of them, y'all. And it was rough, but I made it past that. Then ended up moving out of the projects and things got better. My mom and I are moving. We were living above a restaurant. We used our car to move. We had an old beat up car that I have a video in my family's beater car, the busted windshield and everything. That's our beater car. We might be going back to that soon because, like I said, we got to sell our Buick for money that we need. Because certain abuse is going on today with my father, who adopted me, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Well, we moved in this beautiful restaurant. It was, let me say, above a restaurant, Avon Park, very nice. The kids that I had trouble with didn't live there because Avon Park was a different school, thank God. And I was out of school, so I didn't care about that anyway. It's like, yeah, things are going better, yeah. Then I had to go to the bathroom. My bedroom's on the 3rd floor. The bathroom was on the 2nd floor. I'll give you the layout of the apartment. It was a big, huge deck that wrapped around the 2nd floor and 3rd floor of the apartments. There were apartments on the 2nd, 3rd floor above this huge, fancy restaurant. While I'm on the 2nd floor, the landlord said the smoke alarms are all wired in, that you don't change the battery they work with. None of them did. I'm in the bathroom, going to the bathroom. I hear a slight beep, 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 beep. I'm like, uh-oh. So then I finish going to the bathroom. I get out. I make sure my mom's cat and the cat that I got for Christmas don't get out. I open up the back door. I can't see a thing at night, you all, back when I was legally blind. And I used to follow the railing and stuff to the edge, and I go down and use my cane to follow to get to the restaurant door and put my ear on it. I'm like this. And I hear beep, 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 and I smell smoke. Oh no. So I go as fast as I can to go back up those flight of stairs. I get my mom. I try to get the cats, and then she gets the cats and stuff. And I went and I knocked on next. I'm pounding on these doors of these apartments. I mean, pounding. I got people, but this one apartment, nobody would answer. And my mom's like, "You can't go back in the house." I said, "I'm going back, and I'm not leaving anyone behind." So I ran up to the 3rd floor where our bedrooms were, and I'm pounding as hard as I can on the wall. As hard as I can to make the sounds, pounding on it, pounding for like over 5 minutes straight. Mind you, I didn't know what was on fire, where that smoke was coming. It could have been getting worse. I put my life at the line to help some because I won't leave anyone behind, you all. I'm pounding on that wall, and the guy starts pounding. "What is your blanking problem?" You can hear. I said, "Come to your door. We need to talk." Smoke alarm, fire, and he couldn't make out exactly because I wasn't because he was screaming out of control because I woke him up. When I go back down to the 2nd floor, run across the deck to his door, pounding on it, and he opens up. "Do you blanking mind? Do you know blanking what time is it? It's 1 something in the blanking morning. You work my girl and I up. What's your excuse for this?" I'm like, "What do you mean? You people are so nice, and why are you waking me up? What's going on all of a sudden?" I said, "Fire." And he steps outside, and he saw, ooh, and he ran and got his girl, and we all got out. Fire department come. The basement of the place was on fire, and it did some damage and stuff. It was a furnace that caught on fire. And the code officer says, "Listen, I could shut this place down right now, and all of yous. I know everybody here don't have a lot of money. I'm going to shut it down in springtime. You all have till springtime to find a place. And you need to do it." Then, another little electrical fire happened because the landlord was getting foreclosed on. We didn't know he was trying things to get insurance to pay for the home. We didn't know that back then. So then, thank God we called and they stopped it before anything happened. The landlord went in the one empty apartment, and it was a room, and it was above our hallway of our second floor, and water's draining into light fixture and everything. Come to find out, he unthreaded the water line off and hoping it will hit the electrical and stuff and cause issues. Well, it didn't work because we called and got it taken care of. Then my father, who adopted me, Chris, wanted to make my life hard, wanted to make it harder. November 1st, he called code, fire department, fire chief, health department. Basically, he wanted my mom back to be with him and date. And my father, Christopher, adopted me. And then we get a knock like, bang, 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 8 in the morning. And it's Jeff. Not Jeff, oh my God, Mike. Mike Wagner was his name. A very nice code officer. Very nice. High recommend if you ever need anything around Ava Park, West Salem Lake. Mike Wagner is a very nice code enforcement officer. Very nice. He said, I didn't want to do this to you people, but your A word S. But he's saying all these words, like the S for a bad word, the A word for a bad word. Your ex-husband called us, threatening with lawyers and everything, and we don't shut this place down. He's going to have all of our jobs. He's going to do this, so we have no choice but to shut this whole place down. We didn't want to do this to you all. We didn't want to throw you out, but you got to go. We can't lose our jobs. And my mom and I were forced homeless. For the first night, we stayed at a friend's place. And then we ended up, we only had so long to get our stuff. Then the landlord of the building made a deal with us and broke the locks, the padlocks right off the doors so we could get our stuff out. And we had a deadline. We had to get everything out at night so we wouldn't get caught. But Mom and I had nowhere to bring this stuff. We didn't have money, y'all. So everything that we could save. A friend of my mom's, Mark, helped us get a storage unit. And he was very nice. He used to be a prison guard and stuff. And he's an amazing person. Him and his family are amazing and nice. They helped us out. So what we could get in storage, we did. And then the rest of it, we piled up in my mom's one car and left. And the landlord said, be fine to leave there. Then, because all the violations be hit away, he told my mom, I'm going to tell you this right now. You got 2 cars. And my mom's car needed a little bit of work. So we were driving the beater car, the one that my family's beater car, if you look at. We were driving that thing around because my mom's car needed work and we didn't have money to fix it. Well, we had to drive my mom's car to a friend's farm that we knew and park it because it couldn't be driven every day. So long story short, we were homeless, living out of a Ford sedan, and we stayed in empty houses. Yes, the carpet houses were softer to sleep in than it was for the ones with the hardwood floor. Yes. But then, from November 2nd of 2014 to October of 2015, we were homeless. Then we found a place to live. Everything's getting better. But 2 weeks before I went homeless, y'all, in November of 2014, in October, 2 weeks before that, I lost my left eye. So I lost my left eye. My dad knew that, who adopted me. He wanted to make my life harder. And then he ended up getting the place that I lived at shut down. So then, on top of that, 2015 comes, I got a nice new place, everything good. I got in contact with certain people that I wanted to meet that I never met or knew in my life. Well, long story short, they wanted my income. They wanted everything that I had. They thought they could use my disability against me being legally blind and stuff. So then this one person, hey, Joe, why don't you come and hang out with me for the week? I said, no. My mom said, yeah, you can go hang out. I said, no, Mom, I really don't know them. I don't want to go to stream. No, come on. Then they took my pet bunny rabbit, not Velvet. Oh, I got to tell you about Velvet. This rabbit I got in 5th grade. When I was facing the physical abuse through school, this rabbit was the only thing that I had to keep me going through. I hung on to that rabbit, y'all. I held him. He was one that I talked to, one that I cried to and everything. And he was the one that kept me going forwards until my stepfather came along. And that rabbit I had, he passed away in 2014, springtime, thank God. So he didn't face homelessness. So then I gave the other bunny rabbit away that I had with him to a friend. But when I got back on my feet in 2015, I got the other rabbit back. Not my beloved rabbit that I had since I was a kid. I got the one that I got for him to have a companion. Well, this one person took the rabbit and said, I'm going to bring my kids love rabbits. I'm like, no, that's my pet. Well, long story short, ended up going to this place and stuff, and my phone disappears. First thing. I go in the shower, take a shower. My phone disappears. I'm like, where did I lose my phone? I'm not thinking that they took my phone or hid it yet. I didn't get to that part yet. So I'm like, wow, this is strange. I ain't got a phone. You're like, can I use... Oh, no, we don't... My phone's dead. Can I use... No, we don't have a phone. I'm like, something's going on here. Like, I knew I should have came here. Then, long story short, Monday comes. Oh, Joe, I got a doctor's appointment. Would you be so kind to come with me? I'm going to get some bad news and stuff. I want support, and you're such a great person. I want you to support me as I find out these health battles and stuff I got. Like, sure, I'll go. Then this lady named Monica meets us outside. Oh, yes, she has a doctor's appointment. It's going to be such devastating news. Can you come up with us? I didn't know that was this girl's best friend. And I'm not saying who it was because I'm not going to have backlash or anything at me. These people have connection in New York State and the county, so I can't say who they are. I had to relocate to get away from this. And that's why I live today. In a county that they can't touch me. Because it's a small county where everybody knows everybody. And this county helped me get out of all that. Well, long story short. I went upstairs. Well, Joseph, this ain't about her. It's about you. We feel she should be your payee and in charge of everything and stuff like that. I said, nope. I'm out. Well, Joseph, you cannot just walk out this door. You'll be arrested. You cannot just walk out or we can put you in a group home or a disabled home or anything like that. You need to sign this paper that you don't want our assistance. I said, I can't read it without being lodged. Well, I'll read it to you. And a couple of the other workers came in from different rooms and said, yeah, we'll read it to you, Joseph. I said, do you have a magnifier that can make it, or something, or can you print out font 72 so I can please read it? No, I'm sorry, our computers can't do that. So then they said, this is a release form saying you don't want our assistance and nothing will be done, nothing will happen. You're free to leave and you don't want no help or any assistance from us. And it says that if you don't sign this, you can get in trouble if you walk out that door. So I signed like a fool. Don't ever, for my blind people in the community, blind community or visually impaired, don't ever sign something if you can't read it or you don't have someone you know and trust to read it. Don't ever do that. Biggest mistake I ever did in my life. I signed that paper. And boy, did it change my life around. Another battle threw at me. For a couple of weeks, nothing's going on. Bills money's coming. Bill time's coming. I'm working and everything. I'm saving up money because I wanted to go on a trip. I wanted to go see my Aunt Carol and stuff down in Florida and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to save all my money. I'm not even going to look to see what I got in my bank. I'm going to save money and I go to pay my light bill. And the lady says, yes, Joseph, you always call each month to pay your light bill because you're blind and you can't do it. So you call and we do it. But there's a problem. The card is not working. I said, ma'am, all my paychecks and everything are in. It's working. I know it's in there. They said, it's denied. I'm like, oh my God. Someone hacked my bank. I'm thinking someone got in or something like that. I call the bank and say, yes, come out and I make a new card. And the same thing happened again. Then he said, can you tell me where it's all going to? I said, it's going to such and such. I'm not saying because I'm not going to give too much information out. I'm like, really? So then I call and I'm like, oh, yes, Joseph, you're blind. You can't manage money. You're disabled. I'm like, oh, my God, this can't be happening. This can't be happening to me. I'm like, no, not something else. Well, long story short, hang on, let me get my cell cord so this won't die. Hang on. I think I can charge while doing the video.
Charging started. Battery level 58%. Record time. Stop recording video. Button.
Alright, ooh, I dropped
Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press.
There we go. Well, long story short, another storm came my way. Another storm life threw at me. I'm like, oh, man. Then I get, you got the rent money? It's the 15th, it's late. I'm like, the state picked the payee to, like, manage my money. Well, they ain't paying the rent. You ain't got the rent, you're out. I'm like, this can't be happening to me. And I'm like, and he's like, I don't want to put eviction on you, so we're going to do a very easy eviction. I don't want to bring you to court. I don't want stuff on your name. I understand what's going on, but I can't go without rent. So you gotta leave. So then the state put me in an apartment. No heat, no hot water, none of that. And it had no kitchen sink, no bathroom sink. I had a shower stall. Yo, I had to use a barbecue, a propane barbecue I tore apart and burnt sticks and stuff in front of the woods for food, y'all. Then things even got harder from there. A lady named Sarah thought I was faking my blindness because she didn't understand what legally blind and blind was. So then she made phone calls and got my food stamps stopped. I had to go to eye doctors and get a printout of all my medical record and prove the eye disease with the pictures and everything, and my eye disease, retina pigmentosa and cone rod dystrophy. That's what I'm diagnosed with. And I had to prove my vision to get my food stamps back, and that took a while because I had to fight to get them back. So then I'm in this apartment, only getting $100 a month. I can't even make it to work because $100 a month I had to pay for food out of that because I'm not getting food stamps. And I had to buy my cat litter, cat food. And then my one cat got stolen from me. Her name was Princess. So thank God the cat that I rescued in 2015 that I got today, we call her Mail because that's the only thing she answered to. I tried calling her Midnight and everything. She's a black cat. Her owner passed away in 2010 or 2011. I forget what it was. I was told by the town, and everybody was feeding her. But nobody wanted to take her in because she was like, she swatted everyone. She didn't want no one near her. Well, I said, no, I had a rough life. She had a rough life. I'm going to take her in and gain her trust. I understand why she's scared and swats anyone because she don't know. Maybe from living alone so long. Well, I got her. I calmed her down today. She's my four-legged daughter. And she's a good cat. Well, long story short, all I had was her and my mom's cat. Because Princess, that my mom gave me for my birthday when we got her a place after being homeless, the landlord's maintenance man of this place that the state put me in stole the one cat, the kitten. And it was sad. So then I fought with the landlord. I acted like I was calling the news. I said, look, I got the news right here, this phone, and watch. They're going to come out here and do a story how I have no oven. Get me an oven and a refrigerator, or they're coming out at the end of this week. So now I got this rotted out oven with holes through the top where you couldn't use a stove. You could only use the oven part. And I had a portable oven, like a portable stove burner, one burned I had to buy. And I had a little mini refrigerator and freezer that they gave me like what a college kid would have. I couldn't even hold much at all. But I made it through it. No hot water, by the way. Whoo! You don't know how lucky you are to have hot water, too. You lose it. Damn. I went a couple years with no hot water. Matter of fact, I'm going to try and see if I have something else to show y'all. I don't think I do. It's I still have it. The glass cups and stuff that I used. Well, I don't know where it is, y'all. I had a sauce jar I got from a food pantry that was my cup if I was lucky to get... food. Like, meaning coffee or hot cocoa. But I'm glad I'm away from coffee now because anytime I drink coffee, it made me sick. And I have other health issues. Like, there's certain things I can't eat because, like, my immune system, it don't like it. Like, my stomach and stuff, it hurts it and can cause things. So I have to watch what I can eat. Then, homeless, overcame that, just have it ripped away from you again. The man that you love and cherish, you call a stepdad, passes away. Another thing in life. Made it past all that. I remember what my stepdad said. Things will be hard sometimes. Well, that was hard. I overcame that. And I overcame it pretty well. I ended up overcoming that obstacle. And I really did too. 2021 it took me. From the ending of 2016, so all the way to 2021, it took me a springtime 2021 to get my freedom back. My Aunt Kara said, Joe, just move in with me, let's go. And I went to go do it. My name was red flagged through anything. I was being treated like I was a criminal. So I was even thinking of hitchhiking my way out of New York State. That's how desperate I was. And my mom at the time was in another abusive relationship with a man who was using her. She picked up from a homeless shelter, taking all of her money for his drug habits and stuff. I said, Mom, listen, do you want to go see your sisters? I'll pay. I'm making odd jobs. I'm making money under the table. Please, drive me to Aunt Kara and drop me off. Please. I don't care if I have to go, like, hide and be on hiding or something. I can't take this no more, not having my money. I can't take being stuck living in these conditions. I can't do it because my mail was even ripped away from me. I didn't even get my mail. I was treated like a kid. They changed my mailing address to the county office building. I couldn't even get regular mail. So anything I went to the post office to go to meet, it went to the county building. I lost my freedom. And I remember I used to go for walks down this backcountry road near me. And I just walk it with my cane, following the edge, like thinking, what am I going to do? Then I called these airports. I said, please, please, listen, can't we get me through this flight? Can't I please, Joseph, your flight was canceled because your name is flagged. You can't leave New York State. I'm like, no. I'm like, no, 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 no. This can't be happening. So at one time I was desperate and I was about ready to just take off on the run and just go by my middle name or something, just to get out of what was going on. But then I said, no, what? My stepfather said, you got to stand strong, and you'll make it through these storms. I remember that. And I was praying to God every night. I was saying prayers and praying, please help, please God, please Lord. I know you're answering these prayers. I know you're working on getting me out of this situation. I know prayers don't happen overnight. I know when the time is right, doors are going to open and this will be gone soon and my life will be better. But please make it sooner than later, Lord. I'm saying in these prayers, please, Lord, please, I'm saying. And then, like, I had a 20-ounce bottle of seltzer water that a guy named Arthur gave me. I cherished that bottle for 2 weeks. I never drink seltzer water, but I did for that to have a flavor. I couldn't do my laundry, so I wore ripped up clothes. My clothes were falling apart. I couldn't afford to buy clothes. The estate kept all my money. I never got any of that money back. They said it went for whenever I collect Social Security as I'm older. That's what it went towards paying. That's when they gave me my freedom back. Can you believe that? They only gave me a $300 check and the rest of the money went for rent was only $400 for that dump of apartment. But at least it was a roof over my head. I was blessed for that, but the troubles that I went through there. Then I got in relationships and stuff, and relationships just didn't work out and stuff like that. I dated this one girl for 7 years. And her family was... I understand family is key, but this one girl wanted to brainwash me away from my family. My family is bad, her family is good. My family is bad, her family is good. Then, like, why are we doing all family events with her family? Why can't we ever go to one with mine? Oh, that's because your family's this, your family's that, your family's this. They're no good. Then anywhere we went, she talked about my family to her cousins and down them and everything and down that. Then my mom was coming from Massachusetts, where she was staying at a drug house with her boyfriend, of course. And my ex, we were dating. If your mother comes here, I'm calling code. I'm shutting down these apartments. They ain't fit to live in. I said, talking for someone who don't even pay no bills. I said, I bust my rear end to work under the table for us to have a life. And I can't even see my mother? No, she's a blank and blank. Melissa, and then she goes, you know what you call a girl a bad word, the S word. Melissa something lit. She goes like that. And I'm like, wow. That's what I went through with that ex. But 2 wrongs in a relationship, yes. I will say that. But long story short, I tried that relationship for 7 years. I couldn't do it no longer. So I took off. I left her in my apartment, let her stay in it, took off. I went to Waterville Elite for a little bit. And I moved back to the apartment after she had the apartment next to her, because we had 2 apartments. They were such small apartments. I said, you keep that side, I keep my side. You can have the oven and everything. I'll cook with the oven if you let me, or I'll figure out my own way to cook. And that's how we did it. These apartments are ran down little hotel rooms, like where water came in when it rained. It was a dump, mold all over the places and stuff like that. But long story short, after all that, a nice lady named Jody who lived in those apartments. Her apartment was beautiful. She's retired. She redid her whole apartment herself. It was beautiful. She found a mobile home for sale and told me about it and told my mom about it. And the guy was willing to do rent to own. Then my father, Christopher, because let me tell you this whole story. I took my mother and her fiance in when they were homeless. Then I threw them out. Took them back in, threw them out. Took them in, threw them out. Took them in, threw them out. Took them in, threw them out, because I couldn't deal with the drugs in my home. Then I took my father, who adopted me, in. Joe, you gotta help me. I need a place to live. I wasn't paying my rent, and I'm starving. Daddy ain't got no money for food. You gotta take me in. Please, please, don't let me be out here, Joe. Please take me in. So then I take my father in, who adopted me, Christopher, the one who abused me through my whole life. And I say, why do you do that? Because I believe you forgive those who do wrong to you. Matter of fact, one of the kids that always put their hands on me through school one of the kids who even made me bleed a couple times and stuff, that's how much physical abuse I was going through at school. Him and I now are best friends, and he is a preacher out in Kansas, you all. Yes, he is out in the city of Kansas, and he is a preacher. He's a black guy, very nice. He overcame the demons in his life. I remember one day I got a message on Facebook from him. Which I'm not on Facebook right now, y'all, because my ex has access to all my Facebook. So she'll write things like it's me when it's not. So please don't go on my Facebook page, because she might write things and it's not me and stuff like that. I'm making a new Facebook that my ex has no power over soon. None at all. No power at all. But long story short. Like I was saying about Facebook. What was I saying again? Because I got off. Because like this is very stressful for me to talk about. I really don't open up to anybody. Facebook, what was it? I was talking about the abuse I went through. Did I tell my night terror about? Yeah, I think I did. Hang on, y'all. I'm thinking. Whatever, I'll get that. That will come back to me. It was a brain fart, y'all. Brain fart for a minute, y'all. What was it again? Let me turn my computer on. This ain't my computer, y'all. This is one that I borrowed from the state. It's shared with other people. So if I ever send you a letter or something, it might pick up what other people write about too in it. It's like if it's a letter talk about me or what I'm talking about, and then other stuff just jumps in it that ain't me. This is not my computer. I bring it back and forth and share it with the state. Other people use this computer. Matter of fact, is it going on? Oh, is it on? Is it on? Is it on? Oh, it's acting up again. Hang on, y'all. It's supposed to be talking.
JAWS. Escape. Escape.
Right. W.
Search box edit. Type in tag W. Search indexing was turned off. Your results are incomplete. Search indexing was turned off. For complete results,
Someone who had this computer last took those. Hang on.
Search box edit. Type in text. W. Word. At. Press right to view options. Enter.
Alrighty, hang on, y'all.
Opening dash. JAWS activation dialog. This application requires authorization to run on this system and will continue in 40-minute mode. For a full version, please select the Update Authorization button. Update Authorization button. To activate, press spacebar. Space. Microsoft Word dialog. Word automatically saved changes to the normal document template. Choose activation method. Choose activation method. Escape. No but yes button. No button. Yes button. No button. Enter. Choose activation method manual by telephone or choose activation is graph. Escape. No button. Yes button. To activate press.
I don't understand. This computer's on something, y'all.
Yes button.
But
To act.
it is what it is. I was gonna show y'all how I write letters and stuff because I got tongue-tied and forgot about what I was talking about on Facebook. But long story short. Never limit yourself in life. All the obstacles I overcame. Matter of fact, do I have a trophy here somewhere? Hang on. Is there a trophy in there? No, that's the ink cartridges. Trophy in here. Nope. Trophy in here. Where's my trophy? To show y'all. Oh, I don't know what I did with it. That's my brayer. Matter of fact, I forgot to give Halsey, I gave her a gift, y'all, and I forgot to give her a Braille gift. I made a guitar in Braille. You can make pictures in Braille if you're good with your Braille, like I am. I made a fake guitar, a fake house, a fake car, a fake truck, and stuff like that for her. I left it at home, and now I feel bad and guilty for that, but it is what it is. I'm trying to find my trophy. That's all the printer paper. Is it up here? No. A long story short, I don't know where my trophy is, y'all. I'll find it. Shout out to Halsey's team. You guys made my day. A candle from the Great Impersonator concert, y'all. The Great Impersonator, Halsey. That made my day. Let me tell you about that now. I'll talk about the childhood trauma I went through, but you know what? We're going to make it past. We're going to go back to that in a minute. As I do need to take a little break from that anyways, because thinking about it just is a little hurtful and sad, but it is what it is. I went to the Halsey concert in Jersey, you all, Jersey! Well, it wasn't all happy-go-lucky going to Jersey, y'all. We took the car, overheated a couple times to get there because of fan and stuff. Pulled over, let it cool down, getting down by my father, called every name in the book. Then we got to Jersey at the campsite. Cheesequake State Park. I recommend checking it out, y'all. Great place. Well, I'm camping there, First night is okay. Dad started calling me names as usual. And long story short, next day we go out. I'm getting called every name in the book. I went to Jom Vovi restaurant, the rest stop area. I was so stressed I couldn't even say that name, y'all. So I had to go back another day to do that because it was too hard. So then, I go to Thomas Edison Museum the day of the concert before Halsey's concert, June 6th. Well, I go to the concert. No, I go to the museum. I said, Dad, do you want to go in the museum? No, I'll just sit in the car. You blank and hard word, you blank and blank, you tard blank and blank, and all these names he's going to call me. Then throwing stuff at me from the front seat to the back seat. His anger is getting the best. I'm like, ugh, here we go again. My father's diagnosed with a couple illnesses that he can't help. And I'm the only family member that would take care of him right now, y'all. The only one. Nobody else will. Like today, for instance. Today's Father's Day. I went out, hey, Dad, happy Father. Don't even speak to me. Like, he's in one of his moods. Then a little later, hey, Joe, want to come out and watch TV? I said, sure, Dad, let's watch something. I acted like it didn't even happen because I know he doesn't realize when he goes through his mood swing. Then watching TV, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, Dad, what do you want to do today for Father's Day? Don't start with me. Just like that. I'm like, oh, here we go again. But long story short, I went to the Halsey concert beginning when we got there. I got there at 3 p.m., y'all. Oh, sorry, I almost dropped my phone.
Record time. Stop recording video. Record time. 1 hour, 12 minutes. 1 hour, 12.
Oh, I want to be the first one in line for Halsey, and I was, y'all. I was the first one there. The first one there at the Halsey concert. I was there before everybody else. I was there before the people were setting up the tables and everything. Then Halsey's team came out. The people in the church that I was told by security is Halsey's team. And I said, Dad, can you please stop? You blank and blank, Dad. This place is blank and blank. Dad, stop. So Mom's like, I said, Mom, that's why I got you guys your own seats. Because I can't sit the whole concert dealing with Dad. And then my mom getting yelled at by her abusive boyfriend that she's currently with. That's in a distant relationship. No, I ain't gonna deal with that. So long story short. Matter of fact, my computer's talking. I'm not even touching it, y'all. Like I said, my computer does things of its own. I don't know if my ex-girlfriend hacked into my computer. Maybe that's why it's doing things too. Oh, Facebook. I had a crazy ex that hacked into it. I'll tell you about that after. But my ex has everything on Facebook, so you can't find me on Facebook because I do have a page that my ex will write very mean things like she has before to other people, make it look like it's me to get people to turn their back on me. Or she'll do things to be very mean and vindictive. Or someone writes something nice to me, she'll erase it so I can't even get it. So that's why I'm working on getting a new social media account. So if you ever try and find me on social media, don't try Facebook yet. I'm going to make a Facebook page soon, the name of my YouTube channel, so you know it's me. But long story short, now back to the story. I'm at the Halsey concert, a little upset, feeling down, I'm going to one of my favorite singers, one that I look up to as a role model. My stepfather passed away. Halsey had a rough childhood too, and she went through a lot of the stuff that I went through. So it's hearing her music, hearing those lyrics and those songs, some of those songs I can relate to. Then the book, I Would Leave Me If I Could, is an amazing book. My phone reads. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you all that in the next video. I'm going to show how to use Lookout on a phone. How does a blind person read a book? And I'm going to show you all. The device will read it to you. Well, I can relate to some things in that book even. But besides that, I'm like, I'm going to this concert to pay my respect, to show her how much she means to me as a singer and everything, and to pay my respect, and because of how bad she was facing recently, I feel very awful if something happened to her and I never made it to a concert to show my support. Wow. I go there, my dad's treating me like a, you know what. So I'm like, okay. So I stand against this little table, the VIP table I'm standing at. Okay. So say this is a VIP table. I'm standing at it, talking with a girl named Nicole, talking with a couple other people. Shout out to Nicole. You're awesome, by the way. Thank you for working for Halsey's team and stuff like that. Thank you so much. I don't know if they work just for Halsey's team at the venue or if they travel with Halsey. I don't know that. That's so amazing. I said, I got something to give to Halsey. And she's like, no, I'll make sure it gets to Halsey. Just hand it to this person right here, and they'll hand it to her. And it was a pillowcase of Panic at the Disco. And it had a couple other things inside, and 2 bracelet wristbands for my YouTube channel, because I didn't know like what one she would like better, or she would like one for her, one for someone that she knows or something, or maybe one to share with someone. I don't know. So I just gave 2 because it was only 2 that I had left, so I felt it was right because I didn't know what color. I don't even know what color they were. I get them in all different colors, so I don't even know what color wristbands I gave. So then I was like, maybe one color she'll like better than the other, so I'll give her 2 wristbands. I gave her my last pen that had my YouTube logo on it, and then a bumper sticker of her favorite singer and stuff like that, and a couple handwritten letters and stuff like that I wrote on this computer, which I hope the computer didn't mess it up, because one time I was writing flyers for my YouTube, and someone said, okay, these are YouTube flyers, what's this in the middle? I'm like, what do you mean? It's saying tax report and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's someone else's stuff because of my computer. Ah. And one time, a person that I know that's blind also that uses stuff and stuff like that, some of their stuff came on a computer, like, oh man, it is what it is. I worked my way around all that. So when my eyeballs don't work, if I ever send you a letter or something to anybody, or write like a YouTube flyer and it picks up something else, don't blame me. It ain't me. I'm getting my, matter of fact, I have my own computer right here. This is a computer that the state lets me use. This is my computer. My Crazy X since 2015. I can't get into this. My dad bought it for me for Christmas. It's a Dell. Brand new. My Crazy X put a password on it and won't give it to me. And I don't know how to clear it. Just like I got an Apple tablet that I did payments on when I got my income back and I was doing work. I'm locked out of it. I can't even get into it because my ex set a password. I can't get into it. Well, I hope to have my own laptop or computer soon. Oh, sorry about stretching, but my dad really made this vacation hard. Yo, I got out on the Jersey Parkway, you all. I said, Mom, pull this car. No, you're gonna... Mom, please, pull this car over. Let me out. I can't take this abuse. Let me out. She's pulled over. I didn't realize that there's an on-ramp coming on the right a little bit ahead up. I found that after I walked up my cane, and I'm like, oop, this is an on-ramp. I can't go this, so I'm gonna have to go back and sit in that car. So I took a little break, and my father's calling me every name in the book down to me. Then I get back in the car and go to the campsite and take a walk. That's how I dealt with it. I took a walk. Walked around the whole campsite following the blacktop with the edge of my cane. And a nice, sweet camp worker there. An Irish woman that works there. No, you're going the wrong way. This is the parking lot. You're still making it around, but it's going to take... Come this way. Follow me. Here you go. Just follow this around, and this will bring you around the whole campsite. I said, thank you so much, young lady. Oh, you're welcome. No need to thank me. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. She's very nice. Then I got to go on a tour of the Sandy Hook Lighthouse. The first ever blind man to get a tour through the Sandy Hook Lighthouse in Jersey. That was pretty cool, at Sandy Hook Beach. I got to learn, the guy was a little bit camera shy, so he didn't want to be on the video all the time, which I understood. He ended up telling me that it was in the wars. They had a cannon on the roof at one time. It was pretty cool, all the history behind that lighthouse and stuff. It was pretty cool. But other than that, my dad was very abusive to me on the trip. Very put me down. And at times, I'm like saying, I'm just gonna stay. I even looked up public housing in Jersey, y'all. That's how desperate I was. I didn't even want to ride home with them because of the abuse my father's putting me through and my mother. Then the day we get home, the day we get home I show you driving home in my videos. Well, the day I get home, y'all, literally, we pull in the driveway of this house. All of a sudden, Dad's like, call me every name in the book you can. His motor's going fast and the cars go down the highway, y'all. Well, long story short, I know to ignore that because of this condition. But it's so hard sometimes because words can still hurt. But the childhood trauma that I went through, built me into who I am today. I do not like getting changed in front of everybody. I will not wear no shirt anywhere because I'm insecure with that. I need a shirt on me at all times. I cannot wear no shirt because I'm insecure at that around others. I have to always have clothes on me at all times. Which I always wear clothes anyways, like at the beach. I'll wear a shirt when I go in the water because I don't want to wear no shirt because it makes me feel vulnerable. Because of certain things I went through in my past. So, yeah, I overcame all the trauma. And how I overcame it mostly, like the other day, when I was on vacation, my dad was putting me down. You're blind. You can't even see past your nose. You're blind, F word. You this, you that. You never kept to anything. Like, the only reason you graduated school, they wanted you out. They couldn't stomach you. Nobody can. The only reason I adopted you because my son died. I just wanted to have a son. You're nothing to me. You ain't my son. You're just something that I adopted. I'm like, wow. Saying all those mean, hurtful things to me. Told me, why don't I go beat my biological family? They're all the F word up. And everything like that. I'm like, wow. So long story short, I knew my dad didn't mean what he's saying. Because like the doctor said, when he gets in these stages, walk away. Walk away when you can. And that's what I did. I'm like... Then I'm thinking in my head, you know what? He's wrong. I overcame all this in my life. I overcame being blind. I overcame being homeless. I overcame all this abuse. I overcame all these things and other things I didn't tell you guys about. Like, very personal stuff that I overcame. And, yeah. Long story short, I overcame a lot. And that built me into who I am today. So if you find yourself going through... What I went through is nothing. Nothing compared to what other people go through. Some people go through way worse than me, you all. So why am I telling you this story? Not because I want you to think of me or what I went through. I want you to hear this story. Next time you see someone homeless, next time you see someone that looks very sad or hurt or upset, talk to them. Maybe if they have a shirt on, even if it's an old raggedy shirt. Hey, wow, that's a nice shirt. I like that. Where do you get it? Or, would you mind if I buy that? Or do you have, like, wow, that's cool. Or it's someone's, wow, if it's a girl, wow, your hair looks nice today. You did an amazing job with it. That's pretty cool. Could I ask you how you do that so I could do my hair that way? Or, hey, I was looking for a friend to talk to. Would you like to chat for a little bit? You seem like a really cool, amazing person. Can I chat? Those are ways to bring people up when they're feeling down. I feel God put me through those struggles so I can see all sides of life. Homelessness, drugs all around people, alcohol, abusiveness, and everything like that. God put me through these things to see what people go through. And the reason he did that, to use me, to have me help others who find themselves where they can't get out of situations. I will go to homeless shelters and I will give my voice. I will find people homeless on the street and I will sit and talk to them for hours. Yo, my mom, can we hurry up? Like, no, I'm still talking. Come on. And then I love helping others. I don't have money myself. I don't have a lot at all. Hey, coming back from the holiday trip, we had to use, my dad gave me some money, but we had to use some change and stuff just to make it back. It's in here, matter of fact. Oh, that's just... Maybe that's not... Thought I could find my trophy all, but maybe not. But long story short, I was going to give the singer Halsey harmonica, a necklace harmonica, brand new, that like plays. But I knew security wouldn't let that pass, so that's why I said nah. But Halsey is a great singer, y'all. I highly recommend checking out her music, and I also highly recommend checking out Rada. Rada X Royal on Facebook. You can find her on Rada X Royals. It'll say it will be weekly live Saturday evening. She goes live. She's a Canadian singer. She did not grow up in Canada. She ran away from home at the age of 15. Rod is such an amazing role model to look up to, such an amazing artist. Matter of fact, she gave me a handwritten letter, y'all. With Rada a musician starting out, she needs more followers. So please check out Rada. Her YouTube channel is not that big. She only uploaded a couple of songs. It's called Follow the Warrior Rada, or Flow with the Tide, or a couple other, or Come Home to Me. But Follow the Warrior Rada, if you put that in on your YouTube search, you will find her. And we'll talk about the abuse that she went through and everything like that, and how she ran away and bettered herself. Me, there's an organization I help every now and then. It's called My Friend's Place. It's in Los Angeles, California, 5850 Highwood Boulevard. They mean the world to me. If I knew about My Friend's Place when I was a kid with all the abuse going on, I would have reached out to them, and I know they would have helped me. But unfortunately, I didn't know about them then. So I know those kids are hurt, and those kids need help. So I mail clothes when I can. I mail them stuff. Matter of fact, I got 2 more boxes to send out to them. I gotta wait till after I pay my bills on the 1st to make sure I have everything. And I'm gonna do a couple odd jobs just to get the money to mail to My Friend's Place to help them out. And I also am mailing stuff to a place in Kentucky. I also am bringing stuff to a place in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. I love helping the homeless, and I love giving a helping hand anytime I can to anyone in need. I don't have a lot of money, so I can't help money-wise, but I can help other ways. So what I do, I collect clothes. I advertise, like I get my friends and stuff to say, hey, I have someone collecting clothes. Would you like to donate? And explain that what I went through, why I donate the clothes to help others. And that helps me get the clothes and stuff to donate to people in need. And a lady in East Greenbush, New York, donated a Lightning McQueen car to me, and donated a Power Wheel Lightning McQueen car, and a Crazy Coupe. I gave the Crazy Coupe to my pastor and for his kids, and I am fixing up the Lightning McQueen car for my next door neighbor. I already gave it to him, but I gotta find out where I can find a battery and save up the money to get the battery, because they're very good people next door. I'm not gonna give them something that doesn't work. I gotta figure out how to find a battery for the thing and hope I can save up the money for it, because I'm not gonna give it to them without a battery. It never came with a battery. Or it might have a battery and don't work. The lady said that it needs a battery. I have to figure that out. But long story short, after all the stuff I went through in life, it built me into the man I am today. All the physical and verbal abuse I went through, even some abuse that is even worse that you can even think that I'm not mentioning certain things in case there are kids here, made me the man I am today. A roof over my head is very important to me. When my father, who adopted me, threatened when he gets in his moods to take this roof over my head away, it hurts. That's why I'm saving. I'm selling the Buick. Yes, my family and I are going to a very bad car soon, a very bad car. But we are selling it because I'm saving up so I can get a place. Where I'm living, I own the mobile home, but not the land. And anyways, the owner of it passed away with the land, so it's all in a battle right now. Certain people want other people, so I'm like, no, that's to get out of here anyways. So I'm saving up, and I'm going to try and find my own place. I'm hoping to find a mobile home for sale, or a fixer-upper house that I can do YouTube videos on and fix it up and show you all my skills. And here is still paneling. Matter of fact, look at my great impersonator shirt from Halsey. Right there. I think that's a Halsey sign, yeah. Right there, Halsey CD. Halsey CD. I bought one for a collector's one I was going to use, but then I forgot. The cars don't have a CD player that we have, so I kind of bought one for the fun of it. And I got my posters right there. And a Halsey sign that I got off the internet right there. And this is from Jersey. I didn't have money to buy souvenirs. So I went to Jersey. I bought this little box I thought I could use. And, where is it? And this is ocean water from New Jersey. I'm going to be making a globe out of it. It's from Sandy Hook Beach. Because I don't have a lot of money, as you all know. So I couldn't buy, souvenirs. There went all the acorns. I'm going to make a welcome sign out of it. I got acorns I was going to show you all, but I have to show you that another time. Trying to see if I got anything else. Nope, it was a gift from other places that I went. I put the ocean water back. Yes, everything's back. All right. Let's see what's up here.
Call.